everybody, it's Carrie with Seed to Spoon. Today I thought I would talk a little bit about things that we are doing this January. I know that everybody's January for gardening tends to look a little bit different, but I thought I would talk broadly just about different things that you can do to get started for the spring season, pretty much wherever you are. So we've been having just the weirdest season so far. We have the most extreme weather, like super cold one day and then the next day it's really nice. Like I think it's in the 60s now. Like it feels really nice out and it's amazing to be outside. So it's teasing a little bit because it's gonna get cold again, but it's okay. I'm going to focus this January more on things that I can do to get prepared for the upcoming season and things that I can do indoors as well. So January is also a huge month for New Year's resolutions. I know for me personally, me and Dale, we both wanted to make sure that we grew more food for ourselves and our family, and we were better about eating it, because last season, whenever our garden got out of hand and overgrown, it was very difficult to go through and harvest. So we want to make sure that this season we're able to go through and harvest year round and able to eat better food too. So, Junior, what's your resolution?
I want to grow more food.
You want to grow more food? Mm-hmm. What food do you want to grow?
Broccoli.
More broccoli? He does love broccoli, especially the microgreen broccoli. He loves that. So if you've made the resolution to eat healthier or to get in better shape, gardening helps you with both of those. So it really does. It helps you get in shape because you're outdoors, you're being more active, you're in the sun, you're being healthier. And whenever you grow it yourself, you're way more likely to eat it yourself too, because it's right here in your front yard or your backyard, wherever it is that you're growing, it's right there. It's easy to get, and it definitely makes the accomplishment of eating healthier. Whether it's weight loss or another reason why you want to get started gardening, our app can help you through it too. Our app gives 26 different health conditions, including weight loss, also including like the keto diet, things like that. So whenever you're scrolling, whenever you first pull up the app, it'll show you all the different health conditions. And if you click on those, it'll show you the different plants that are really good for those health conditions. So if there's a specific health related condition why you want to get started gardening, our app can help you with that too. So January is a huge month for us. We are always super busy this January. We start a lot of seeds, and all of these seeds are being started indoors this month because, again, our weather is very unpredictable, and typically it's still very cold right now. So I'm assuming we're going to be having a lot more cold fronts here, just like the rest of the country too. But this month, seed starting indoors is going to be huge. So I will show you our inside seed starting area that we have. This is our inside seed starting area. This is in our shop. I know this is a lot bigger than most people have space for, but I wanted to show you what we do, and I'll show you our smaller setup that we have as well. First of all, if you don't already have your seeds yet, I definitely recommend getting on that. I know last year it was really difficult for a lot of people to find seeds. I know we had a lot of issues, but one place that we continued to always find seeds was Park Seeds. So check them out if you're looking for seeds too. So a lot of places sell their own prepackaged seed starting mix, but if you wanted to make your own, you could definitely do that as well. We do a little bit of both here, but whenever we do make it ourselves, we mix equal parts of peat moss, which you can get at any Home Depot, Lowe's, somewhere like that, and vermiculite, which you can get on either any local nursery that you have, or Amazon also sells that as well. We like to start a lot of our seeds this way, so that way whenever it comes time for spring, we can have our own transplants to take outside instead of having to buy transplants. It is just so much cheaper to do it that way because seeds are way cheaper than transplants, and you can have a whole lot more plants yourself too. A few of the plants that we're definitely going to be starting right now this January are some broccoli, some cauliflower, things in that family. So we're going to be growing a lot of those things. And then if you have space, you can go ahead and get some tomatoes and peppers started too towards the end of the month. We're probably going to do that just because we have a large setup and we have, the opportunity to move things around. And we also use a lot of smart pots once our plants start to get a lot bigger. So whenever like the tomatoes start to get really large, we can put them into some small smart pots under grow light and then move them outdoors whenever we have nice days, because usually we have some nice days intermixed. So you can get a head start on growing that way if you want to, but I'm definitely going to be focusing a lot on the cool season crops that I want to get transplanted out there. I'll do some close-ups of the seed starting stations that we have behind me, but if you're interested in learning more about how we built these, we did it fairly cheap. Most of the items that we used, we found either on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, and we found really good deals on a lot of things. I have a video that Dale made that I'll post in the description, all about the details of how we went about doing everything that we have here. If you have any questions at all about our seed starting station, please leave them in the comments and either me or Dale will get back with you, because he's the one that built most of this, but we can get back with you or make another video as well if there's something that you have more questions about or you want us to go more into detail about. One thing I really do want to mention and focus in on is whenever we have these grow lights right up here, and then we got these little pulleys. It makes it so much easier because here you can let loose. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. So you can let loose and you can put the lights down really low, and I have one on both sides so I can make it even. And then you can pull it up just by pulling this up right here. So as your plants grow, you can adjust these lights and you don't have to manually go in and move them around, which is what we were doing before, and it was a pain in the butt. So this has just made it so much easier having this pulley system. And I will link to that in the description too. I want to mention also that we have fans hooked up on both of these seed starting stations, because whenever you don't have a lot of air movement, and we don't have a lot of air movement here in our shop, so whenever you don't have a lot of air movement and you're watering plants quite a bit, you can get mold issues and fungus issues. So if you have a fan next to it, it really helps to prevent that whenever you're seed starting. It can also really help too to transition your plants whenever you're getting started to move them outdoors, especially here in Oklahoma because it is super windy. So it helps kind of get the plants used to it. So this is inside our house where we have our smaller grow area. I am super excited. We got a biodome this season to try out. Here's the top. I haven't planted it yet, but I'm waiting for some seeds to come in. I'm super excited to try this out. We got this from Park Seed. So we're going to have this growing inside under our grow lights here. So this is one of our grow lights that we have. It's kind of in our little nook off of the kitchen. So it's really close to where we are a lot. And also, I'm always looking at it too. And this is where we like to grow microgreens too, because it's right next to the kitchen and I can use it a lot. But I'm gonna be starting some seeds here this season as well. I'm gonna be trying out this biodome, so I'm super excited. But this is something that's really good. It fits on a tabletop, so if you don't have a lot of space, this is definitely something that you can consider doing. It's just having a small tabletop grow light and start just a few seeds that you want to get started, a head start on. Something else that's really good to get started in January, if you haven't already, is to get started composting. So composting can be as simple as saving your kitchen scraps all the way to having a worm bin, which we love doing. And the kids love playing with the worms and they love feeding the worms. And then we also have a lot of animals here as well. And if you are in a more rural area, you can have a lot of the animals that we have. If you are in an urban area, before we moved out here, we had some bunnies, and we still do, and they are one of our main source of compost that we do. I will show you. So what we're doing right now, we're going through and cleaning out our bunny cages that they live in and cleaning them out really good and getting rid of all of the compost that they have in there, because all of their poop is amazing fertilizer, and we are making a pile here in the garden. So that way, whenever I go through and I start making our soil mix or start refreshing our smart pots to plant again in them, I'll add a little bit of that compost into the top of it, and it is pure gold. It is amazing. I have a video also that I made not too long ago all about composting, so I will leave that video in the comments as well if you're interested in learning more about composting. What else I'm doing this month is simply just planning ahead. So I'm going through and I'm thinking about different things that I want to be growing. For me, I'm looking on the app, I'm going through the top health conditions. I'm picking pregnancy since I am pregnant, and I'm looking at the plants that are really good for me to eat a lot of, and I'm wanting to grow a lot of those so that way I can always have them out in the garden. No excuse for me not to eat them. And that's one of our biggest things that we're doing right now is planning ahead and thinking a lot about what we want to grow. So once I pick out those plants that I want to grow, I go through and I look at like the different companions as well. So I think a lot about what I can plant next to them. So if they are friends, or if there are some plants that I want to avoid planting next to each other too. So the beauty though of having these smart pots is if I accidentally plant two together, I can just move one of the smart pots around. That's the beauty of raised bed gardening. I love it. But our app makes it easy too for looking at things like that, so that way you don't make mistakes about plants that don't do well together. Besides all that, I'm really just doing a few maintenance things in the garden. We do have a few things growing still. We have some lettuce that I had covered with our PVC dome hoop houses, covered with some plastic sheeting that has survived. So we have lettuce, spinach, some kale, cabbage, also some Swiss chard that made it as well. So I have a few greens that have made it through. So I'm really just going through protecting those. I'm putting the covers on if it's needed, but right now it's not really needed, and I'm just keeping them off to the side right now. Easier to put on if needed. I also still have a lot of herbs that are growing too, including like rosemary, some oregano, and thyme, because I covered my herb bed. And then we also have onions that I'm letting winter over so I can harvest them come next spring. And so this next spring should be a great season for us. So that is just a quick look into our month of January, what we're going to be doing this month and things that we have growing still. So hopefully we will get a head start on our spring growing season. I'm super excited to get all of our seeds started. So we should be getting a lot more seeds in the mail here soon. I'm very excited. I love seed shopping, so it was super fun to go through and pick out what I wanted to grow. But we will be starting a lot of our seeds here coming up very soon. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to leave a comment down below and I can either respond to you down there or make another video as well. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see everybody next time.